Welcome back. We are talking telco. We are also reviewing the market. We'll have a market close at 3. The market's just about to close in a few minutes. So we'll have a market close and then we'll get back to discussion. But for now, we are discussing the telecommunication sector, which is a continuation on a conversation. There never seems to be an end to discussion in the telecommunication sector. So we are having Rolly Kipkemoi, who is an investment analyst at Nabo Capital. Rolly, welcome back. Welcome to the show, sorry.
Thank you so much.
We in the morning we had a session on the telcos and look at the industry as a whole.
Okay.
And so you just plug into continuing conversation.
Okay.
Rolly, are you overweight on Safaricom?
Sorry?
Are you overweight on Safaricom?
Currently,
as a house,
we're holding it.
Yeah.
We're currently holding it. Well, this is informed on the entire global sector, how things are on the equities market. Currently, you know how the geopolitical risks are affecting the markets.
Yes. When you talk geopolitical, you mean Trump tweets?
Talking about Trump, I mean Trump tweets. Yes. I mean what's happening in Britain.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the summit that is going to happen 2 days later.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because foreigners really play a lot when it comes to some of these big names in the country.
Especially
for Safaricom in particular. Yeah. So when you're looking at Safaricom, of course, if you look at it, if you look at the company fundamentally, it's doing fantastically well. But you need to make money for investors. So for different portfolios, you have to take different views. For the long term, for the long term investors, you have to, even if the share price moves from 27 to 24, you still take a view.
Do you have a target price in Safaricom now? It's 27.
That's an argument that we can have until tomorrow. Because if you ask some management guys, even from Safaricom itself, they can't really put a value to the stock.
Yeah.
Because
what is the crown in this jewel, you think?
The crown in this jewel is its M-Pesa product, M-Pesa Financial Services, in particular.
All right.
It's as if they're learning every day.
Yeah.
They are seeing the potential that could come from this revenue line.
Yeah.
You can't really just take a view because it can take various perspectives. When it came, we only thought it's peer-to-peer. Yes. I send you money, you send money to your friend, and that's it.
Now it's C2B.
Now it's the business are involved.
It's permeated.
It's transactions.
Payment space.
Yeah.
But are we saying the value is infinite? The upside from this M-Pesa, I mean, it must be able to stop at some point. Okay, let me ask it in a different way. Do you think we're over the 50% mark in terms of appropriating the value associated with M-Pesa, or do you think we are closer to the 0% mark?
I think we're still close to the 0% mark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because as an investor, if I can ask you, what term are you looking at? Are you looking at 1 year? Are you looking at 5 years? Are you looking for it to be fair? That's fair. If I say 20 or 30 years from now, I think as an investor, so long as the fundamentals of the business remain intact, you're better fully invested than not.
Not.
You're better fully invested than not.
You better be in the bus.
You better be in the bus. So long as fundamentals are okay. I know the environment will go up and down. Politicians will speak north and south.
Forget about politicians.
Well, there's some bills in Parliament.
You have to put them in evaluation.
You have to.
Bills in Parliament. Please tell us. What are you thinking about this bill?
There's a bill. It's very interesting. I was actually going to ask the same question. There's a bill to split the mobile money business from the core telco business.
Well.
You have any views on that?
Are
you scared?
Well, if they split it, but the parents still report the same, then it's still okay. If they split the business, their chief financial officer, Sitoyi, continues running the business, and then they're still consolidating it to the mother.
Into the mother.
No.
That's the holding
I'm not
company.
talking about the CFO. I'm talking about the financial services director. If they're running it separately, but they still consolidate the financials, and I'm exposed to Safaricom, then that's okay. If they're splitting it and then it forms a different company, then I have to think twice. But that's an argument that has been there for quite some time. I think based on this, how can I say it? dominance
Report.
topic
Okay.
that has been in the market. So,
So that what you're saying is that is already factored into the price. The risk of
it's been there for quite some time. I'm sure you're even much more informed than me on this.
No, you're the expert here. You're certainly more informed. But if you're saying in a way for the last 2 to 3 years, this risk has been factored, and you're saying that the M-Pesa value is infinite. Okay, not infinite. It's infinite depending on your time horizon. If it's a longer time horizon, there's just so much that can be done. Then at 27.45. Are you actually seeing any potential for upside? Are you saying that there's more upside than there is downside on the stock price?
I think there is.
Okay.
First, forget even M-Pesa.
All right.
5 years, 10 years ago,
Okay.
we didn't know about M-Pesa. There could be much more products coming down the line, or rather products that depend on M-Pesa. If you look at the company's capex intensity right now, it's been coming down. Yeah, about currently 14% as at for the FY 2019.
Yeah.
FY 2019.
Yeah.
Where was it at its highest?
I only know as at FY 16 or
Okay.
FY 15 it was about 17%.
Okay,
If I'm
so
not
it's
wrong.
coming down.
Of revenues?
Yes,
Okay.
capex intensity, where your capex over total revenue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not service, total revenue.
All
So
right.
you also consider all the
Yeah.
the handheld devices that they
Yeah.
sell. That they
Okay.
sell.
Okay.
I once spoke to a gentleman. He's a South African, an investment banker, who's quite experienced in the telco business, and he told me whenever you see a business whose capex intensity is less than 19%,
Wow.
then those guys can really do a lot because they still are lying on so much cash.
Okay.
That can do a lot. So
Interesting. Free cash flow, dividend payouts. Is that? Sorry. Is
Yes.
it just to circle on that point?
Yeah.
When you talk about lower capex intensity, that leads us to increasing free cash flow. Could we see an increasing dividend payout then on Safaricom over time?
I don't know if we're going to get a special dividend this year again.
Okay.
It could be a possibility.
Okay.
But again, you see, I think the company is pretty prudent, depending on how they would want to deploy the excess cash that they have.
Yeah.
If they want to, they were saying, if you were, I don't know if you attended the forum that investors were there.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the chairman saying, okay, in a population of 50 million people, and you are already taking care of quite a large number of that population, you have to look for growth elsewhere.
Okay.
That would potentially mean that they will probably need to invest in some of the markets that they could potentially invest in. I'm not saying that they will invest in, that they could potentially invest in to seek extra value.
That's true.
Yeah.
Essentially look for a new growth story.
Okay.
Potentially.
Look, talking about capex intensity, as industry as a whole, capex intensity has been coming down, both as a share of GDP and a share of revenues. It's been coming down. Is this a sign of maturity in the market, or do you think that we need new players? The market needs to be more vibrant. It's for us to see that capex intensity going up.
It could be.
Because for me, I think as from where I see it,
Yeah.
I get concerned when, as in the whole industry,
Yeah.
the capex intensity is going down.
It could be because you see capex intensity. What do you compare? You're comparing your capex versus your revenue.
Yeah.
It could be because your revenue is really going up. That's
Yeah.
why your capex the ratio goes down. So it could be that, and if you look at a company like Safaricom has really invested in this country.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sure during your earlier discussion, when you were talking about some of the competitive advantages of Safaricom, is that their infrastructure is
Top notch.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Whichever corner you go to in this country, the quality of your network is almost guaranteed.
Wow.
And that explains why a number of people really want or would really prefer having Safaricom line as a main line.
And then you have a secondary.
And then you have a secondary line,
Okay.
depending on what your preferences are.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have invested over time. That infrastructure doesn't expire on an annual basis.
Yeah.
You invest this year for 10 year, and you're taking a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year view, and you're like, for the next 20 years, I'm sorted. So maybe that explains why I don't really need to invest right now. I've already done it. I'm now looking for growth elsewhere outside this country. And now given that I haven't yet identified which market that is, I can afford to issue special dividend as I wait for it.
Yeah.
But that cash flow will still come.
Okay. So we have discussed an advisory opinion that raised by Competition Authority of Kenya to the Parliament, and we have had some nuances around the response, quite nuanced. And the advisory opinion, it's quite three-pronged. One of them is they're saying that infrastructure sharing, they're actually advising that infrastructure sharing should be promoted. You're talking about Safaricom signal being very strong in all corners of the country. Do you think for new entrants, do you think new entrants should be putting up new towers, or should they be leasing some towers from the existing players? We already have a tower company in Kenya.
Yes, okay, I'll have to put on various hats to answer that question.
Right.
I can remove that hat and put on the
red one.
Which is the red one. I can put on the hat of common mwananchi and say, of course, if they share it, it would mean there'll be more competition in the market. You see, because previously maybe in a town where in Northeastern and Safaricom was the only line there, was the only available network, and now we have various sources, and we know other networks will probably have tariffs that are lower. So as a resident in Garissa or somewhere in Eastern Province or wherever in this country, I'll have now the option of switching. For me as a consumer, that is welcomed. But now if I remove that hat and put on the hat of portfolio managers and investors, people who've really been with the business for quite some time, and ask you this question. Remember when you were in primary school? You've done your homework.
That was 20 years ago.
You've done your homework and you go to school. Then there's this other student now who wants to, you've done the work the previous night. He's taking out your book and copying down. Will you be okay with that?
He's copying my work?
He's copying your work.
I'll be okay because he's probably going to score higher than me. I'll not be okay rather.
You'll not be okay. You'll not be okay, right? You've put in the work the previous night, but if he pays you something small, I don't know. It has to be meaningful for probably you to.
If he's paying me, that's fine.
So you're saying the regulator just needs to appreciate we are operating in a capitalistic market, and you have to allow the market forces and the invisible hand to determine the most efficient allocation of capital. Something which I absolutely agree.
You agree.
But based on what the regulator is trying to do in terms of enhanced market penetration, whereas on this other end we're saying Safaricom has actually paid its dues. It has invested, it has felt the pain, it has understood the market. So why should it be sharing? What are the key regulatory risks that you see? The way you look at the regulator in the telecom industry, do you see a situation where then they come in and use their hand to actually redefine how that industry is and actually impact on Safaricom's competitive advantage?
I want to cut you that because that's a very important question that you will answer after the bell. We have to take a break for the bell. The closing bell. The markets are officially closed for today, Wednesday.